Yeah, we cannot speak about the victory yesterday at Sporting without talking about the heroic performance of David Raya. David Raya has, over 3 seasons at Arsenal, really proven himself that he's a world-class goalkeeper. Even if people don't want to recognize because he's an Arsenal player, because truly to say, an Arsenal player really have to do 10 times more than what other people do to get the recognition they deserve. We saw the breed. He literally kept us in that game yesterday because um it was uh in the first half, within the early moment of the game, he made a wonderful save that really cannon off the crossbar, and that kept us in the game. So also there was a period where it was more or less like a clear run at the goal, though there were the defenders around when he was able to to save that ball, and a very dangerous ball at a point in time in the second half where he had to parry it in the corner. What else do you need to do as a goalkeeper to be recognized? Like he to say, "Oh, this is a world class goalkeeper," because a lot of people, they're not putting him in the same class with Donnarumma or uh, the keeper at Bayern Munich. Though not the keeper at Bayern Munich, he's been top notch for years, but this time around, if you have to look around carefully, I think you can talk about the best three keepers in the world right now without putting uh, the Raya in that category. He kept us. He literally kept us in the game, and the players, they didn't do anything special. But the thing that they did in that game that really pleases me was, at a point in time in the second half, they were able to control the game. They really controlled the game very well, and that actually helped because Sporting, all they were waiting for was like a counter. They were expecting a situation where if Arsenal lose the game, the ball they're gonna go in a counter, but it didn't really work well because we have a very good and solid defense that has been so solid for like 2 seasons now, and that is not just something that you're gonna push under the carpet and think, oh, you don't want to talk about it. The defense is good, whether you like it or not, despite missing maybe one or two players there. We saw Ben White come in. Yeah, he was there, but not that as it is. Max Dowan came in, he did his best, not too much because he wasn't too much in the game, but they keep following him. That's the trademark because that boy is very slicky, on the right wing. And we saw Odegaard. Odegaard, he came in. He did quite nice, to say, and but Odegaard, most times to me, I see him like a choir master who always over, direct his uh, choir to the point that they start singing off key. I'm sorry to say that. That's because I think he do too much. He hangs up to the ball too much, and I think that's one area of his game. Madueke, yeah, he looks it was good, and Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice is the general. I call him the general. Declan Rice is the general in that team, whether you like it or not. He is, yeah. Jokeres, they didn't give him no chance because they know him very well. But the high mark of that game, the high point of that game was when um, Martinelli gave that assist. The game changers were just the three people that came in, especially uh, Martinelli and uh, Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, he was strongly vilified in the last two previous games that we played, but today he was the one who came in to make the difference. So football sometimes never say never. The performance of a player in a game does not reflect the total ability of such player, and that yesterday Havertz was able to prove that, and that was a very beautiful uh you know um pass from Martinelli, and well controlled by Havertz, and it went in. You see, I'm going to ask, when last did Arsenal score such a game in the EPL? Because if you look at this tournament or competitions, they differ in terms of play. In the EPL, I've never seen this season. I've never seen a situation where like an Arsenal player received the ball in the box and he was face to face. clear on goal to the keeper. Never, because you know what? The EPL in the back, they sat very tight against Arsenal. And one thing I'm going to see so far now, because we've been saying, oh, they've been saying, oh, corner FC. People will be crying. They've been crying about the set piece, and we've been scoring. But for some time now, the set piece, hasn't been coming in, and I think it's very vital. This is a time where everything has to be put into the game. This is when we need the set piece the most, because you don't probably maybe as Ateta is listening or be in the social media or listening to the press or whatever. Do what you do, to make you win this league, because you know why? This set piece was what actually to an extent pushed us to this point. Keep doing it, man.